But I know there's a young black boy somewhere who's young. He's trying to find his space in the world. Nobody knows he cries himself to sleep sometimes. Nobody knows how much he misses his father. Nobody knows what he's going through.
Yes, yes, yes.
And this world tells you you have to hide it and can't talk about it.
The devil is alive.
But I got something to say to that young man that I think about very often. My name is Jumaane Williams, and I'm the public advocate of New York City.
It's a moment that still has the city talking tonight. Jumaane Williams was both emotional and unguarded as he addressed New Yorkers following his decisive victory in the crowded special election for public advocate. He touched on everything from helping the city's most disadvantaged to his own struggles with mental health. Williams won about 33% of the vote during Tuesday's election, holding off Queens Councilman Eric Ulrich and former City Council Speaker Melissa Mark-Viverito, who finished second and third out of 17 candidates on the ballot. Williams, a Brooklyn City Councilman, is now first in line to become mayor if Mayor de Blasio were to leave office before his term is up. He also takes on a position that comes with a powerful platform, yet limited resources. So what can we expect from the city's next public advocate? For answers, I'm joined now by city and state politics reporter Jeff Colton, who was there last night in Brooklyn covering Jumaane Williams' victory. Jeff, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on.
So, yeah, tell us about the victory. How was the crowd's reaction? How did it go down?
Well, second time's the charm for Jumaane Williams. He was at Cafe Omar, a nightclub in East Flatbush. This was the same location where he celebrated his, well, maybe not celebrated, he was there on election night for the lieutenant governor's race back in September 2018.
Yes.
He lost that race against Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, came back to the same spot this time and won. It was a big celebration. There was Caribbean music playing throughout the night. People were dancing. And, you know, like you mentioned, Jumaane got very emotional in the speech. It was really an impressive show of just, you know, emotion in this kind of speech that most people don't open up. Usually, I'll be honest, acceptance speeches are pretty boring. This was something special, and the party was something special.
All right. Well, you mentioned, I mean, just talking about going back to the same spot and Caribbean music playing, and it speaks to the fact that identity politics did play a big role in this campaign. And I'm wondering if you can give me an idea of who was able to get their base out and what that showed about who was voting for who this time around.
Absolutely. Well, if you go by borough, Jumaane Williams totally cleaned up in Brooklyn, and he also won most of the votes in Manhattan. Other candidates won the other boroughs, Staten Island, Queens, and the Bronx, but Jumaane still had a solid showing in all of them. I mean, really, he built quite a coalition here. It helped that he ran for lieutenant governor last year, and he got many of those same supporters that backed him then to join his campaign this time. I'm talking about the Working Families Party, the influential progressive group. The New York Times endorsed him then and endorsed him in this race. Groups like Manhattan Borough President Gail Brewer backed him. She's very influential in getting votes in Manhattan. It was quite a coalition for Williams. Of course, he's a Brooklynite, and you know, his strongest base of support is always that black community in Brooklyn. Well,
then on the other hand, there is, of course, Eric Ulrich, who, a Republican, also had a very good showing. I mean, he came in second.
That's right, yeah. Ulrich won the vote in Queens and Staten Island, which is, you know, quite impressive for a Republican in New York City. I think Democrats outnumber Republicans something like 6-1. But that was actually Ulrich's strategy here. Because the 17-member field was, I believe there were 15 Democrats, he was hoping that even by winning just the Republicans, he could have a strong showing. Sure enough, it worked. It just didn't work enough for him to actually win the race.
All right, so now that we have Jumaane moving into this position, which of course, again, there will be another primary coming up in the summer, so we'll be discussing this again, but at least for right now, he has been critical of Mayor de Blasio, and he's second in line. So do we have any indication of what kind of relationship we might see between the two?
Yeah, we should expect to see, pretty competitive. Jumaane Williams, he has actually been known, even though he is progressive, calls himself an activist politician, he's also been known to, he gets along well with others. He's actually been very productive legislatively. So even if he speaks out against the majority on issues, he's managed to get things done. We can expect some of that. I'm sure he'll partner with de Blasio on some issues, but he's also been very critical in the past of things like too aggressive policing by the NYPD. I'm sure we'll see him speak more about that, about tenants' rights. That'll be another platform of his. So, we'll see what happens, but we should expect there to be some butting of heads between the two.
And of course, we will be back at this again. So just a quick reminder, why will there be another public advocate's race again this summer?
That's right. Well, because the former public advocate Letitia James got a new job, state attorney general, the public advocate position has to be filled in a special election now. It will be filled in another special election later this year. Jumaane Williams, of course, will be the presumptive winner already for that race.
All right. Speaking of things that people have been able to work with the mayor on, or perhaps the mayor working with other people, we've seen Mayor de Blasio move his position on congestion pricing and decide to work with the governor on this.
That's right. Just this week, de Blasio and Governor Andrew Cuomo put out a pretty rare joint press release announcing their plan to fund the MTA. This has been something that's been in the works for years, and de Blasio has always favored in the past a millionaire's tax, raising the tax on the city's wealthiest in order to pay to fix the subways, essentially. Now he's going along with what the rest of Democrats in the state have supported, which is congestion pricing, which means that if anybody drives into Manhattan below 61st Street, they're going to have to pay a toll, and that money is going to go towards the MTA. We don't have a number on the toll yet. Those details are still going to be worked out by the state legislature in Albany. But this was a big move, the fact that de Blasio is supporting this, and it means that this is likely to happen sometime in the coming months.
Now, of course, the devil's in the details with the legislature, and there's already been some indication that not everybody is 100% on board with this, considering so many legislators represent either the suburbs or further away from New York City, people who would be driving it and affected.
Yeah, absolutely. We've already seen a group of state senators from Long Island complain about this plan, saying, look, we like the details, but you need to give some of the funding also to the Long Island Railroad, for example. If you're going to discourage Long Islanders from driving into Manhattan, make it easier for us to take the train in.
And of course, I'm sure we'll hear from the new public advocate, as we've already heard some shade from Speaker Corey Johnson in regards to congestion pricing, but we're going to have you back to talk more about that. So thank you again, Jeff, for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.